Alrighty. Hello and welcome. One moment. And we're live. Good. Hello and welcome to another game of Endless Space 2. This will be my first video for YouTube as well, so that will be fun. I am Craft Kraken, an illustrator, gamer, and soon-to-be Dungeon Master for D&D 5th Ed, and today we are going to explore Endless Space 2, a game that I find enchanting, beautiful, and compelling.
The Empire shall reign supreme.
And we're not playing the humans. We are going to be playing the Hissho this time.
For my honor.
Fierce and aggressive, driven by their sense of honor, the Hissho are fearless in battle, preferring war to peace. Their nation has, by tradition, sought conquest and glory, while their reigning emperor, Lyolo Blackgear, is a strong and worthy leader. He is unused to the complexities of running a multi-planet galactic empire. The Hissho government has always been centrally controlled, and both the volume and complexity of decisions means that even a gifted ruler has difficulty managing an entity of this scope. It is therefore a time of change and adaptation, a time of unrest, a time of hard decisions. It is also a time when the Hissho are faced with questions of their past with the Endless, as well as their future in the galaxy. Let's get down to it. So, we'll be playing normal speed, hard mode, because I feel like I have a good understanding of the game, and I don't want the computers to be total pushovers. And, yeah, we'll just start it up. There's a nice intro cinematic coming up, so I'll stay quiet for that.
From the beginning, a warrior prepares for sacrifice. Touched by blood, the sword becomes the soul of its wielder. We fight free of our past as gladiators and slaves, to seek our own renown and honor, to follow our own gods. For the warrior walks a path, but the blade foresees it and remembers it. The blade, however, like the warrior, has its own secrets.
Warriors from a culture of blood sacrifice, the Hissho must rewrite their past as slaves and gladiators into a glorious future. The first to discover behemoth technology, inadvertently reactivated by a sword also fashioned in foundries of the Endless. Their destiny will be written in battle with the blood of their enemies.
Indeed. Alrighty, so I have played the show about, I think, twice or three times competitively already, playing with my buddy, and they are quite a particular race to manage. So the thing about the show that's very unique is that we do not have empire happiness. Normally you have to sustain your empire by giving them like infinite supermarkets, or by managing the population, overpopulation, etc. But the show only have a resource called Keii. The Keii is gained through battle and drained by a few effects. So as long as I have a high enough Keii, usually it's like above 20, I can expand as much as I like, which is not a restriction that is removed for them. So I can expand as much as I want, and normally other factions have to deal with it. So, but the problem with the show is that as much as I can't expand infinitely, their penalty for overexpansion is in the form of penalties to production, science, food, and money. Which means that we're a tall empire. The show do not like to expand that much, even though we can. So you see my planetary occupation limit is 2. And yeah, it also says that mining probes are better for us, which is kind of like the thing. So this behemoth, the thing in the trailer, has the ability to mine plants of resources, which is fantastic, because that will give us the extra resources that we need to compete with other empires. However, I'm going to need a lot of these behemoths to do so. So first, we will explore some curiosities. Fantastic. Great. So the thing about exploring curiosities on planets is not only do you sometimes get resources, it allows you to work the special resources on the planet, because you have to find them first, right? To make use of them. So because we found super spuds on this planet that was once hidden, we can mine it with the behemoth, which is fantastic. And it's a little trickle for now, but the next thing that's very unique about this show is I believe they have one of the best laws in the game, and also a law that kind of defines their playstyle. Hatched at home. There are many traditions within Hissho society that demand loyalty and proximity to the clan of one's birth. By formalizing requirements for minimal relocation and installation, the government is able to accelerate growth and cohesion of the Hissho Empire. So what this means is I get plus 25% FIDs on systems. I think this is by far the best law, but I suffer 1 Keii penalty for each system that I colonize, which makes them expanding infinitely also a challenge, right? Because if I expand more, I'll lose this Keii more. So we're going to enact that law turn 1. Very good. And I believe we might already be producing the most in the game, unless the cravers are also with us. Great. So I'm going to start with drone networks and Xeno industrial infrastructure. Everything is color-coded, which is really nice in Endless Legend. So anything orange is production, green is food, science is blue, money is, yellow. So I'm going to start with food and production, because I think those are kind of the most important things to get going. My worlds are not very good, though, at all. I always start with Uchi. But these, I don't like seeing these snow planets. The lava is fine for production. Snow's good for science, but it's going to be really difficult to populate these worlds moving forward. And I'm so critical because we can only colonize 2 systems, this being one of them. So if worst comes to worst, I might even relocate my home system if I find something just that much better. But I've never really done that in the game. Like, I never really had to do that, but we'll see. Alright, so our brood ship has already found a nice looking system. Let's see, we have a tiny Mediterranean. Not really, oh, Tree of Worlds, though. That's a lot of food. Population is 5. Medium arid, medium ash, large toxic, medium boreal. I think this system has lots of potential. So the thing about expansion as a show is it actually does cost Keii. A lot of things cost Keii. Um, so I'm gonna keep this in mind, but I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move over here because I suspect, like, you can kind of correlate or predict from these star lanes. The plant should be like right about here, so I think we'll get there soon enough. If it went that direction, it could go on like just, I don't know how far, plenty far. So technology. This looks pretty intimidating, but it's actually kind of really well organized if you get used to it. So you'll see it's all nicely labeled: military, economy and trade, science and exploration, empire development. And the thing about this show, which is very interesting, is that you need to get behemoth blueprints. While we have a behemoth, we don't know how to recreate them yet. So with these behemoth blueprints, we can make more of our mining behemoths, which are going to be critical for our long-term growth. However, to develop behemoth blueprints, you have to compete in a quest which requires you to research military technology. Everyone in the galaxy contributes to the quest, but it's more important for you to be proactive about the quest so you can get it faster, right? And so after we get that, we can then talk about the enhanced exploitation technology, right? And this is what's going to give us really long-term staying power. But we need to get there first. And the first texts are very, very important because the way I see it, I should be trying to make snow planets colonizable as fast as possible, and then followed by lava. I think snow is easier to get to. Let's see. Tundra. Snow. Okay. We can get snow pretty quick. Like, we could research that first thing. But the thing is, making them colonizable isn't just flat. Like, it is flat good, but, you know, it's only really useful once we can start populating them, right? So because we have a population of 3 and we have 4 more on Uchi, we have some time before colonizing these planets becomes a real priority. Our system growth is okay. I mean, it's going to take a while. It's going to take, like, I don't know, I think this looks like 4 or 5 turns per pop growth, so I mean, yeah, it's going to be a bit, so I don't need to research that right now. Let's see. So let's see what the Hissho want. The Hissho want transvines, and the Elo want I forget what that resource is called, but it's a purple one. So they want transvines, and when you activate these population benefits, like when you give the people what they want, they perform better. And so I'll be getting extra manpower and extra production per Hissho population, which is good. But right now, that would only give me like 2 extra production. And I think I've been rushing this too much. Usually I go right for the market to give them their resources. But yeah, I don't think it makes them like grow any faster. It just gives you more buffs. Let me just highlight this. Let's see. Click to favor this population, boosting its chance to be selected when a new population emerges in the system. Okay. And doubling its population effects. Alright. I don't really care for more of them, per se. It's not a huge priority. So one thing that is a priority, though. So while 4 production is right now, one of the things we could do with Keii is we can enact kind of like empire-wide actions. And the Way of the Obsidian Eagle will give us plus 25% production on a system, or plus 20% in the Behemoth's Keii zone. The 25% production is huge, huge. That'll bring my 60 up to let's see, 15. Yeah, so it'd be 75. So 75 production. That's pretty big. That's a reason to rush the market to get titanium. think I want that as fast as possible. Because that's like basically 10 extra production. That's like another Xeno industrial thing immediately, right? So I think I will rush this. 4 turns. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have extra production, and then we can go back to public blah blah blahs, private partnerships. This means more science, which is great. Science is good because you have to research a lot. We'll do that, then science, then food, then we'll go back to snow. And I think by the time we get all this, about 14 turns, we'll be able to make some use of those snow planets. Alrighty. So, we need to establish our governor. So, with this guy, he's a guardian militarist, which means he's kind of, he has a combat ship. But like, having a combat ship doesn't mean that there's enemies to immediately fight, right? So I'm kind of like, I think he's better off starting off as a governor. I'm not really like 100% on that yet. But yeah, plus 10% shield protection or penetration, meh. Like, first of all, our ships start with ballistics, so energy isn't really a thing. Minus 5% ship cost. Okay, that's okay. But what I really want him for is to jumpstart the system, which is the forced labor, which would give extra food and production, and then I could give 1 production, 1 food per person. So I think that's where I'm going to stick him. I will do this. Boom, boom. Great. Now he's a governor. He is overseeing the development of these worlds now. And with that, we can just end the turn. Alrighty. Okay, he should be about there in the next 2 or 3 turns. Or, maybe 1 or 2 turns. And yeah, there's nothing left really to manage for this. Let's hit the end turn button. Nope, not there yet. Rocks, lovely. We'll just go back to Bundus. It's not a bun system, that's for sure. So this huge range, by the way, is the Behemoth Keii Zone. This is unique to the Hissho. Most other behemoths do not have this area. And the cool thing about that is when you use one of these abilities, Homeland Defense, War Banners, Order of the Red Blade, etc., they will affect everything in the radius. It's a bit weaker, but it's still pretty good. Which also means that if you select these things to use them on specific like entities and not behemoths, it infects them even more, right? So if I want to right now, I could use the war banners on my colony ship to make it move faster. But Keii is such an important resource that I don't want to spend the 3 Keii on that. That's like 3 less turns I have to really find someone to battle. Alrighty. In spring, we yearn for the simplicity of war. Gardening is hard. The Emperor... Oh, I should read the chapter. Chapter 1, The Blade and the Eagle. The Emperor himself wrote this poetry in a classical form. It is good that he maintains some traditions, for the Hissho have been changing radically. New sciences, new organizations, new codes, new laws. I fear that we are forgetting our own history and values. There are even the Reformers, a group dedicated to adopting new galactic ways and co-signing the old ways to museums. Many Hissho listen to them. But not I. My name is Tizio Blackridge, a teacher of military history and martial arts in the Red Bone Islands of the Itazik Sea. I will soon be rotating back to active duty after several years as an instructor, and I have been preparing for my next posting for years. I grew up on the tales of the Blood Sisters. I read their legends, studied their texts, practiced their martial arts. They are a memory of a time when the Hissho stood united against all, when the sanctity of the nest was everything, when courage and honor were things that existed in daily life, not in stories. I will see the temples of the Blood Sisters reinstated, their feats of arms studied, their stoic and tenacious ways imitated with pride, or I will die trying. Either outcome is acceptable. I am no gardener. And because I like to play the show as aggressively as possible, I want to develop ships. Great. Okay, and we'll end turn. We're just going to scout this next thing, and if it's not better than Bundus, then we'll settle Bundus, because it's super close. Oh, our probes are ready. Very important. Let's see here. Ruins. Life form. Fantastic. Alright, is there anything else? I don't think so. There's a hidden one, but you don't care about that. Skedaddle. So we have access to the market now. And market. We're in the market. Great. And we're going to buy some titanium. I believe all we need is like 2, but... Great. We'll pop that. And we will enjoy an improved research, or improved production rate. Alrighty. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, this one's would be close too, but my other ship will find it. Alright, I'm gonna go back to Bundus. So this guy leveled up. We're going to make him produce more food for us, because our system definitely lacks a lot of food. Alrighty. So this is the mission I was talking about. Words in private. So you get a reward per researching the most military technology. Already 6 out of 19 is researched, which is fantastic. But yeah, this is what will enable behemoth technologies to be researched. Alrighty, so we're gonna go here. I wonder... Yeah, you can't see the Tree of Worlds from here, which is a shame. Alrighty, so we will colonize this tiny system, if only because the food on the system is massive, which will then bleed over into our other systems. Beautiful. But we will not see that often because the show do not colonize often. They usually take their systems by force. Okay, let's just shoot a probe up here. Actually, something to note is I don't know where I read it. Yeah, but discovering systems does give you a key, which is pretty important. Oh, we researched a thing. We'll get public stuffs before the analytical engine. Great. We will send you over here. And that's the turn. So what I'm seeing now is not the greatest. So the thing is, we need to send our behemoths to systems that can be mined, and right now all we have is Perseus and Lena, which has only 2 planets on it. Ice, Arctic steppes, barren. Yeah, a lot of science. Not much else. Yeah, it is not so good. We're almost at max capacity already. Planetary landscaping. Yeah, you might be a little slow, but we'll find out. Okay. So we actually look at the scores here if you hover the enter button. And you'll know someone has 160 already. That's because they are the Nephilim. And the Nephilim start with the first 2 tiers of tech. So they just have like a better start than most other races. Alrighty. They're pirates now. The show love fighting pirates. Let's see here. Sustainable farms. Lovely. Move that over here. Do I already have access to developing? No, I don't. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for your chaotic sap to finish. Oh, the behemoth can mine again. I'm being bad these first few turns. Here we go. It only gives like very little in the early game, so I'm not super concerned. Yeah. So I can hack now. So we'll hack the pirate system for more resources. Fantastic. So the pirates want to fight us. We'll meet them. Great victory. We got a key for that, which is lovely. Which is funny about the show is that if the battle is more even, you get more key for it, which I think is funny. Alrighty, we found another system. Way, only 3 worlds, sadly. It's a ways away from our home system, which isn't so good. The behemoths can defend themselves, kind of, but not from any serious force. Alright. Great. Let's end the turn. Alright. Our first goal was met, so we could colonize Arctic worlds. Well, our mission is to develop some ships currently, which is lovely. I think I'm going to prioritize botanical scanning, then we're going to get some ships. And, I mean, I really want the university, which gives me +2 fits per person on planet, which is good. So we'll do that, and then we will dip into... Yeah. +2 planet. Yeah, it's not per cold planet, so it's not like a special synergy. Yeah, I'll get the science thing, and then I'll start dipping into military attacks. Great. That should keep our scientists busy. Let's get more food and production. And I want to leave this guy here. Because see, I was hoping to find more systems like this, but I was hoping that they would be a little more fruitful. Because I want to keep my behemoths as close as possible to my my home system. So, all right, we're on the turn. Okay, so this objective, the rumor of an academy, wants us to explore 5 atmospheric curiosities. I don't think we have any nearby. Let me just double check. Subterranean. Let's see. Subterranean. Yeah, we're just gonna have to go all the way up to Way. Alrighty. Alright, so I gotta keep my eye on that. Let's see here. Hostile trace detected. Yada yada. We will pop this again, because I want my production to be as good as possible. We're already down to 60 Keii. We're losing 1 a turn. Blah blah blah. Found some stuff. Access to red saying. Dark glitter, apparently. Yep, you just move. So if we look at this colony, no, it's already 10 Keii. So this is also a big decision, because if I unavailable, yeah. If I decide to colonize this planet, it means that I'll start losing 2 Keii per turn, which halves the amount of time I have to really do something about war. One moment. And that's a huge problem. Because I don't even have ships yet. But I could take the risk. -7 dust? No, not gonna make it. I feel like yeah, I don't want to do this until we find our first enemy to fight. Oh, the behemoth can mine again. Lovely. Let's go for the huge snow planet this time. Okay. Check the market. Stonks, very important in this game. I could sell some of these super spuds. I mean, what do they do? Ship buyout? Yeah, I don't really care for that. Even if I have an abundance of it, I'll just sell it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. That's the turn. Great. So you can see that these little dots are now white, which means they're now colonizable. And we're about to hit our cap, so we're going to start colonizing these planets right now. We will do this one. Can we do it right there? Yeah, we have to prioritize it because then our population will stop growing. So, alrighty, great. Auto move and turn. Okay. Now I really haven't thought about, well, I have thought about it, but like farming the pirates. You see they spawn a pirate fleet every like 5, I don't know how long. I think it's actually 10 turns, but right now it says 5 turns till a new fleet appears. Excuse me. And so I guess like if I want Keii, I could park ships over their system and keep blasting the fleets that get spawned. I don't know. I feel like that's the way to do it. I think I'll try it this time. Usually I just kill the fleet and I move on because I'm hungry for other targets, but that's the end of that turn. You're the first to control 4 star systems in the same constellation. Yeah, good job, Orange. Whoever that is. Probably the Cravers. That's a scary thought. Okay, yeah, we want to explore more planets. We need to find our first enemy. Our first sacrifice. So, it's time for the election. And I forgot something actually pretty important. This is a learning video for everyone who wants to play a show. But anyways. So, yeah, I am a dictatorship. So, I think you can only vote militarist. I'm pretty sure. Or they just go to whatever party I tell them to. But I don't want to stay militarist. Great. I should really read dictatorship. Let's see here. Yes, yes. They're talking about Bundus. Great artwork, by the way. Okay, blue. Discover the most curiosities. Good for them. So, set a political party representation to 1 on the Senate. Rebellion, start. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so actually I'm not forced into militaristic. Strange. Okay, keep that in mind. Because, I mean, I could, like, I guess next time I could do production. I'll try it. I'll try it next time, see what happens. Anyways. So, we colonized our snow world, and already Hissho are moving there, which is fantastic. We're going to increase... See, I don't really care for the analytical engine because it's supposed to one dust per curiosity discovered. I'm not really about doing discovery strategies, only because it's like very micromanagey, and I don't like clicking fleets around just to explore worlds to get a little bonus. There are some minor factions that make it worth it, but... Oh yeah, and we need to talk about the sacrifices. So, you could sacrifice a population to get a good bonus for like 10 turns. And it's typically worth it once you start capping out on your home system, because that will happen as the Hissho. Yeah, it just will happen to you. And this helps you be even taller, right? And so what I should have done last turn was at the end of the... at turn 19, because every 20 turns you do the election cycle, and so every 20 turns a new observance shows up. So I should have used the last observance, which would have given me 50% extra fids. No, sorry. 50% extra dust, which is money. For 10 turns. That would have been nice. It would be short pop, but I think that's typically worth it, especially at the very end. I'm not going to pop this now because it's 50% of food to manpower. And even though we are going to start making ships, I don't think it's worth sacrificing population for that. I can fill out the ships with the 400 that I have right now. Okay, we're going to go here. Ooh, this is a lovely system. Lots of green planets. Huge monsoon, toxic. Oh, this is green in the bad way. This is money, though. Medium desert, huge ocean. Okay. Okay. I like that. Oopsie, didn't mean to click on them. Let's see what I get. Red saying, oh, sure, I approve. So this quest is a little perplexing. I've heard people say you always take the minus to the penalty of technology. It's about -7 or 8% technology for how long? For 10 turns. And then at the end you get a technology in 20 turns. So, I mean, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I don't think it's that big of a delay on my plans. If it was minus 10% science, then, you know, that'd be just something else. Alrighty, so the pirates have been hacked, and we are going to hack their auto droids. So the other option, well, I should go through them all. Create backdoor means that you could start hacks from your backdoor system. So this is great when you want to frame someone for hacking someone else. Because you could totally do that. If you manage to hack someone else's system, you could start hacking other people's systems. And then you can maybe cause conflict between those players. And, of course, you could, like, leapfrog with it, too, right? So if you want to, like, hack across the galaxy, you could use this for that. Sabotage supplies delays the pirate fleet. And I want them to spawn because I want Keii, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to steal their resources by hacking their auto droids. And doing so got me 300 dust. Fantastic. We'll go back to our scanny screen and hack them again. And our behemoth can start looking at resources. I'm going to go back to the Super Spuds one, because I want those resources. So we still haven't found someone to fight, though. So I'm going to keep the ship here and explore all the curiosities. The reason being, again, I need to find the resources to make use of them. So when I come back here later with the behemoth, these will be much more valuable. Alright, so move down here. Do we find anyone? Ah, lovely. Oh, well, I kind of... Maybe I bumped into a probe or something, because I don't see their system. Alright, well, that's the end of the turn. Okay, auto move. We found the Haroshems. Okay, I mean, I could fight them, but it's not really worth it. I want to fight other big players in the game. Alright, I'll move back here and do what I said. Finish the rest of the curiosities off. So, we researched enough technologies, that being here, right? Because this says you get an extra law, right? So you unlock the third tier by researching enough tiers below it to get access to the extra laws and stuff to instill another law. And these aren't going to be, well, I could use this. It would save me about 30 or 40 production on a ship. And we're currently putting out 187. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that worth it. But speaking of ships, we have to start designing some. So actually, every game, I found this is super useful. We're going to make a ship design. And we're going to call it Glint. And the Hissho ships are actually kind of interesting. First of all, they look like burbs. But they have 3 weapon modules on them, the attack ships. And you could just, like, if you want to, just go all movement and all offense. But I don't do that. It's a little too wild for me. But with these glints, I like to put these lasers on them. And the reason why I like to put these lasers on them is because with the turtle strategy, there is a third flotilla that excels at the medium range, and they're most optimal there. So this will give your fleets a balance of energy attacks and ballistic attacks, which the basic ships come with. So I'm going to give them a shield because I suspect that people firing at them in this position would be laser weapons as well. And that's it. Done design. I'm going to start off with hawks. Let's see here. And making these hawks should be enough for the quest, but I'm just going to throw in a few more ships here, just because. Whoopsie. Let's see, so the hawks are the ballistics, the kestrels are defenders. So what defenders do is they draw aggro. And they have a different ship design. But all I really pay attention to is the fact that they will draw aggro for you. So I like to put at least a few in each flotilla. Alright, cool. So our first fleet is scheduled. And we shall make the show proud. On the turn. Let's find what this is. Find out what that is. Atmospheric. Part of manpower killed returns to the Empire stock. Use it again against a fleet that kills manpower to save some return for the. Interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten a battle tactic like that before. Let me look at them. Huh. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Alrighty. Oh, but actually, let me just focus on that for a moment. I just want to just tell you what it gives me. It's that turtle strategy. You see how, like, there's these bars, right? So you'll see if you hover the dots, it'll tell you what range each bar means, right? And so in the turtle strategy, you have 2 short range fleets and 1 medium range fleet. Easy peasy, right? Okay, and so because we explored all the things, I'm just going to sit here, and I'm going to shoot some probes about this way, because I think they'll find the systems fastest. Alrighty, and that is the turn. So this option will give us extra food and production per population, which is going to be huge on our planet that has very little food. Just making sure everything is in order. Yeah, we're good. So at this point, I could start to consider boosting the Hissho population. How many Hissho do I even have? We have 5, 6... an extra 6. I want to wait till like 10, I think, to boost the population. And that's the turn. Fantastic. Great, we did find a system, which is lovely. And I'm going to just sit there for one more turn. Oh, I forgot to do my behemoth. Let's see, behemoth. Mining. Industrial. Okay. Probe that away. Lovely. So, this objective was achieved. I got second place, which means I get some influence in titanium. Actually, titanium's pretty good. And I get some Keii. Titanium's pretty good to do this again, because that costs titanium. Lovely. Well, now that I'm producing ships, I'm just going to enact that law. Minus 15%. I wonder, oh, I went from 2 to 1. Okay. There's some value. Great. Did we really research all the things I'd queued up? Oh, no. It's the next one.
The Empire will not tolerate this.
Alright.
The Empire has a proposal.
I refuse, buddy. You're not getting tribute from me. The only thing you will get is bloodshed. Okay, yeah, we're just chilling. I guess we'll guard it, just because. And that's the turn. Oh, okay, great. So this turn, we got a random military tech, which is fine and dandy. We got 5 Keii for completing our mission. I feel the deck throb beneath my claws, the thump of troops changing the watch. The ship is a living thing, a hunter, worthy of our ancestors. Solo quest started, the Blade and the Eagle. We face a challenge that the Blood Sisters did not, ruling new peoples and new planets. If the Emperor cannot do it, the Reformers will take it as a sign of weakness. It is one thing to win battles, it is another to federate the survivors into a nation. Great, so invade and occupy one system. So this quest to me feels a bit backward, because like you start with a colony ship, and you know, of course, you want to use it. But now it's telling you to occupy a system, which means that like you're gonna suffer that FIDS penalty and the Keii penalty as well, right? So you could just invade a planet and then move off of it. So yeah, they're you know, it's just a bit strange to me. That's all. Okay, but we get the Wrath of Tonatzi, which is basically a beam that has a higher critical hit chance. I don't really like using critical hit builds for my fleets, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try it sometime. I just find that this gets phased out incredibly quickly. So I don't know. Maybe I should try it. But I also get 5 Keii, so that makes it worth doing. Yeah. Okay, so we have our first Hawks. Oh, there's the patrol boat. Okay, buddy. I see you. We're gonna shoot a probe up there. And, oh, I think that thing just got researched, right? No. Let me check that quest. Sorry for the background noise. Words in private. 10 out of 19. Okay, we're working on it. We are working on it. We're going to get autonomous construction, which gives us extra fleet capacity. It's a very strange how they say hull types. But this symbol, all that means is that you can have bigger fleets. This will give us armored ground units, which is great, so we can bring in tanks into battle. And this will give us some cloaking. I don't really use this on Hissho or anyone who's not the choir, but we're going to research it anyways. And these two things are basically used for defense. So we're going to grab both those things because defending the homeland is incredibly important. You lose this one system, you lose the game. Lovely. Okay, we're still mining as indicated by that little swirly line. Okay, more research. Let's see. Ah, baryonic shielding was unlocked from that. The Riftborn. So these abstract fuckers are incredibly powerful in this game. Each of their population gives 5 science, 5 dust, 5 production. But you have to build them. Like, that's their drawback. And, like, I get that idea. I'm not saying they're broken, but they're just so potent. Like, because eventually you'll fill up your queue with production, or sorry, with population, right? So you could say they'll spend like 20 turns producing their population, which is 20 turns not doing anything else, right? So it is like a weird drawback, but the population's super good, and if you give them what they want, then think about that. It's like 10 production per person, which is wild. 10 science per person, right? But the one weakness I have heard float around about them is that their fleets are slow. And that's a pretty significant drawback, because speed means a lot in all these types of games. So, outmaneuvering them is an option. But yeah, I definitely do not want to mess with these guys, at least in the short term. And they met me right here. Lovely. You know, I say I don't want to mess with them, but I do want Keii. Do I really have 200 defense on this thing? 97 attack, 72 attack. Short range. What do you get short range too? Yeah, I'll attack him. I have a lot of defense, so. See if we got Keii for that. I refuse. Blah blah blah. We're just so perfect. Oh, we found their system. Okay. Lovely. I want to find the Empire. They're a lot squishier than these robots are. Okay, cool. Our ships are still being made. Our first fleet. I'll have to check the manpower once a new ship gets made. Magnetic field generators. So we have a lot of dust we aren't using. Oh, we're about to be maxed out. We need to prioritize this. So we have a lot of dust we aren't using right now, and well, let's see what we can use it on. So as much as I don't want to use the population bonuses now, I can stockpile the transvine. Transvine, where is it? Oh, not on the market. That's not good. That's yikes right there. There's a lot of blue caps, though. So blue caps can be used for science. We have lots of it already. Unless you want to be like the center of science in this universe. All this money. But there's just not much to do with it. Oh, we could buy adamantium, but that's super expensive too. We're going to buy hyperium, because hyperium can be used for certain important structures. Yeah, like the Endless Research Park, or the Denarku University. Look at those butterflies, so pretty. So the thing about the Endless Research Park on Hissho, the problem with it is that it's, you know, you get plus 20% science and stuff, like all these percentage raised bonuses you see on the left there, and that's nice, but you have to be devoted or loyal. And for Hissho, that means you need to be like at 100 or 75 plus Keii, and that's incredibly hard to maintain unless you're at war or you're sacrificing your population with a special observance. So I usually actually ignore this one, even though it's really good on other factions. Actually, can I do a thing? I mean, this is really good for science. We'll do it. Seems awesome. Yeah, I'll prioritize the science a little bit. Sorry for the background noise if you can hear it, by the way. Let's see. Excuse me. We're gonna hack those Odroids again. Collecting. We were just complaining about transvines. Thank you, pirates. Lysander. So, the thing about Lysander is he'll pop up and give all these missions to people, and if you give him what the resources he wants, he will give you rewards depending on what position you end up in. So he wants money, like everyone does. And this guy, yeah, he wants a lot of it. We'll see just exactly how much as time passes. So the highest you can get on this list, like it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? There are 4 places. So the highest you get is the Spear of Lysander, which is like a badass fleet. You fly around and you just blow up whoever you want. So me and my friend are almost at ends with each other about this issue. Lysander's fleet is good, like really good. Like it'll be the best fleet in the game once you get it. But it only lasts 20 turns, and the manpower it comes with isn't so significant that invading a planet is an instant win. And he thinks that the costs of, he thinks that like the way you get these rolls, the way they're determined, the RNG mechanic, right? Because Lysander could have asked for influence or titanium or whatever, right? He thinks it's too RNG, and he thinks that, he thinks that the cost of it isn't like really high enough, right? Getting access to this giant fleet is, it's hard to really put a price on that much early game power, right? I think that the fleet, while good, it isn't a game ender. It's definitely like whoever has it has an advantage, especially over someone they want to use it against. I think if you have proper defenses, and I've done this only like a few times, you could defend the invasion. But what I have not tried as Lysander is to use this fleet, like invade a system, right? Because when you invade a system, you deposit your manpower there, right? And then to go back to one of your home systems, refill, and then deliver a new wave of troops. I haven't tried cycling like that, which could change my perspective. But anyways, first place is super powerful. Vault Keeper is also really good. You get access to all the laws of any what's the word? Ideology? Party? Additional party, that's what they say? Yeah. You get all the laws of additional party of your choice. So that's just super good because you have many options there. Like, just a few. Like, you could increase your speed with science. The speed of fruits of science. You can increase the production of your people by 6 with industrial. So a bunch of good stuff here. Master of Dust, I've heard some bad things about this. Let's see. You can drag this item or... Okay. So the Master of Dust, what I've heard is that you get 1,200 dust to, like, use in diplomatic actions. And I think it's a cap. Like, you just have 1,200 dust and it doesn't reset. You don't get any more. This seems super lame. Because, like, right now I have 1,600. So if I invest all my money into this and I get Master of Dust, I'm already losing, right? Librarian is interesting. It doesn't like really help you win the game, but it definitely informs you about the matters in the game. So 4th place, you can ask specific questions of the setting, which is super awesome. You can ask for specific actions of the setting, which is super cool. You can ask like who has the most science, who has the most ships, blah blah blah. You can really get an idea of like what's going on. So right now we're gonna contribute with just 100 because I find all of these roles are going to be helpful. And one thing I like to really keep my eye on is typically what people will do is they'll stockpile and then they'll dump all of their cash at the very last moment, or they'll like kind of like any bidding thing, right? They will granularly increase how much they contribute. But if Lysander's asking for something that's on the market, that's a lot different than asking for straight dust. Because if you go to the market, you can see by the stocks and like by, you know, the exchange information here, what people are buying and selling to get access to that resource, right? And so if you're not gunning for first place, because, you know, all the other places are fine, or if you're not gunning for any place at all for that matter, you could abuse this, right? You could abuse this fact, right? So you'll see, like, for example, if he wanted titanium, the stocks would rise for titanium. And so you could, like, start to sell it back to them and make a ton of money, you know, on the back foot while people are vying for his goal. So, it is time to mine. It is time to mine. We will level up food and production again. We are prioritizing colonization. Our Keii is at 61. Not bad. Not bad. But we don't really have any... Oh. I will let them go. I'm going to move away from that pirate fleet, in fact. I think it's a pirate fleet, at least. Hacking. We're going to get more resources from them pirates. Great. Alrighty. Oh, the Empire's exploring. This is not a colonizer fleet. It's just, yeah. It's just a scout, really. Which is fine. It's fine. I don't have to destroy him just yet for trespassing. I think he's got to be, like, down here, maybe? Maybe? We'll find out. Alright, we're good. We're just chilling. I'm actually gonna... 2 turns to the next pirate fleet, eh? I'm gonna wait for my fleet to get max capacity before sending it out. Actually, you know what I am gonna do? Let's do the military production, because I like that. We're gonna fight, because it looks like it's in our favor. We lost disastrously somehow. Oh, because he had energy weapons against, I guess our nothing defense. Okay, cool. So actually, I was going to wait for the fleet to be max capacity, but I want to do it now. And the reason why is because in 3 turns, my production bonus will go away. So I want to recycle that as soon as possible. I wish there were more pirates to farm. I'm going to take the risk in... I feel pretty comfortable with the amount of Keii we have. We're going to take the risk and do this system. Because I'm thinking that, we do drone networks. We already have a bunch of food on the planet. We'll do that. And then we'll colonize. That sounds good. So I'm thinking, since their planets are close together, I'll just use the AoE from the Behemoth, which will be cool. Alrighty. Yep. Turn 34. I need to remember turn 39 to use that sacrifice. Okay, so we got some titanium and Keii. Lovely. Some return for our efforts. Intergalactic peace has decreased the price for military ships, eh? I'll have to change that soon enough. Mining operation has ended. That's the pop-up I need to keep watching for, because my behemoth sometimes sits without any actions. Auto move. That button will move all your fleets. This saves a bunch of time. End turn. Alrighty. Pirates. Where'd they go? They have to be... I don't know. I guess I'll just use their system and wait for them? Question mark? See, now losing 2 Keii per turn. It's going to be very difficult to get back up. I'll just wait and hope for the pirate's return. I'm already starting to regret my decision of colonizing. So this building is super important, I think, for anyone to get. It gives you plus 10% science on system and minus 10% technology costs. So that's giant. It's giant, especially for Hissho, because that law we passed at the beginning is giving us plus 25% science already. So then we're getting plus 35% science. It's per system level. So we could be getting plus 55% extra science, right? And if you want to stay competitive, then we definitely have to we definitely have to be vigilant about that. Okay, we can mine again. Lovely. We'll get some extra production. So I think, yeah, we're already starting to max out. Okay, so I guess we will stop researching military tech and go for lava, which is, it's right there. We will get multi-threaded management, which will allow us to basically, it gives us the intergalactic supermarket, which is a beehive apparently. And that's great because it gives us extra dust per person and per system level, but it also allows us to use our dust to buy out things immediately. So instead of having to wait for it to be produced, we can just buy it. This guy just slipped right by us. I'm kind of upset. I want to see if I could chase him down, because that's Keii right there. It looks like we're faster. I'm not sure. We're not invading the pirate world again, because I want them to produce troops. My empire lacks manpower. Aha! You went the wrong way, buddy. Decisive victory. We got a key for that.
Will not tolerate this.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Okay, so we retreated. And we are going to intercept them at that supernova. Okay, so I guess we owe it to finish that, but I'm going to just put it off, really. Actually, we're going to queue up the sacrifice. We'll do it next turn so we don't forget. So this sacrifice will convert 50% of our food to manpower. Which is fine. We are going to create this fleet, and we're going to try to make them meet up with our others who are stationed over the pirates. Great. So definitely this is not a screen as a show that you want to ignore. Yeah, this allows you to research behemoths. And we're in the lead, so we got plenty of super spuds. And it is likely that we could sell them for a little bit. Wow, we have so many super spuds already. Yeah, I think their price is dropping. I could hold on to them. I could keep it. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure about that one. Yeah, we'll decide next episode. So, yeah, I want to keep these about an hour episode apiece. I would do more. I can definitely do more, but I want to make sure that illustrating is my priority and doing other creative things. These are just windows into the game, and I think eventually I will end up doing a competitive game for all y'all, so you can see how high stakes a game like this can get and how technical it can be. But also, yeah, how beautiful it can be too, despite all the warfare and stuff. So anyways, it was fun. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/craftkraken. Or you could hit me up at my other social media, at Twitter, DeviantArt, and Patreon. Alrighty, it was fun. This was Craft Kraken signing off.